I know it's not Thursday. It's Friday. But I wasn't in town yesterday. I was driving home from a little quick impromptu family vacay with the grandbabies. And so I thought I would come on today and do it. Check how cute this is. So this is a little, this is heavy on the bottom, home decor item that we're going to change. So I've got, just mixed up some new white lightning. I've got some white lightning here in my spray bottle. I'm going to spray it all. The white lightning is a cleaner that I use on everything. Home decor is. Okay, look, all the crap. Ugh. This is disgusting. That's just dripping off of this. Gross. It's a cleaner that's by Dixie Belle that I use for everything that I paint. I use it on furniture, I use it on decor, I use it on whatever, right? Because it's, hi Sharon, it's awesome. And it gets all the, ew. Can you guys see that? What the heck is on this? That's just, it's yellow. Is it? Hopefully it's not nicotine. It doesn't smell smoky. You can really smell stuff. It must just be whatever finish they have on here. It's gross. Look at my rag. So yeah, I would say clean everything with white lightning. I don't care what it is. We prep it for painting. That way you can really prep it to paint. How's everybody doing? So yes, we went up to Oregon, to Joseph, to Wallowa Lake. I know you guys, a lot of you have been there. The deer like walk up to you like dogs. The deer yesterday I was packing the back of the car. I swear the deer would have gotten in the car if I'd have had some food to lure him in. He was just, they're so friendly. It's almost scary, right? But my grandkids got to experience it. And it's so fun to see those beauties up close. They're so docile and tame. But yes, they are still wild animals. Yes, I know that. Been up there many times with my parents. When my mom was alive, it used to be her favorite place to go. We would go every year at my birthday. And my birthday's in October. But this year I said, let's go a little bit earlier because whenever we go, it's really cold. And this time the weather was absolutely gorgeous. Have you ever been? If you have, let me know. It's just a really fun place. It's only about 3.5 hours from here. So it's a good little getaway. We rented a house up at the mountains and took the babies. First time they've ever like been away besides my house or their house in sleeping somewhere else. Okay, so you have these children. Keanu's 2, Emery's 1. They have routines, right? Kids are very routine driven. Keanu has a big boy bed. He's not in the crib anymore. He's potty trained the whole 9. Emery's just turned 1, so she's still in a crib. She will escape. It's very hard to put them somewhere else for 3 nights. Now, Keanu is amazing. He will actually sleep in a bed that's not his. We weren't sure. But he also can get up and open the door. So we were really afraid about that, like him getting up in the middle of the night and like wandering this strange house. Luckily, the doors were like the pocket doors and they were really heavy. So, but he stayed in bed. We brought the camera, the monitors with us. And then Emery slept in a pack and play, which this girl, I forget, she's not little anymore, right? She had to sleep diagonally in the pack and play because she's too big. That's funny. We got rid of all the baby stuff, right? Because you don't need it anymore. And she's walking now, but she's not walking enough to like run like her brother does. So we carried her a lot. We took turns, which was fun also. She can't really well take a stroller out into the woods, right? It's just, but you know, between Grandpa, me, and the mom and dad, we did it. So we had fun. 3 nights. just a quick little out of town vacation. Only thing we got to do all summer. It's been a busy summer. Okay, so that's good and clean. Now, this is kind of a weird feeling. Still don't like it. Whatever this is. Look at the yellow it put on my hands. I think I'm going to put some texture because I don't really like the surface of it. I'm going to unplug that. That's probably driving you. So I need to know what colors you guys can envision for this. I don't have a vision for it. Help me. Help me with my paints. I just went on. I didn't even think about a color yet. Fall. Fall would be nice, right? Because this fall soon enough. Base color. Throw some out there. There's a couple of you on here that can help me. I can't think today. I helped carry out 2 big pieces of furniture today. One more is going out tomorrow, so I'm kind of panicking because I have nothing to replace them with yet. So, how about some reds? I got enough in that one. That's a bright red. But that's okay. We can add some brown to it. This is honky tonk red. Rustic red, I didn't have enough in the container, or I would have used that. Tiffany style. Huh? What do you mean? Like a blue? Like a Tiffany blue? Sharon? Is that fall? When I think of fall, I think of the deeper reds, orange, yellow, brown. But I mean, hey, I'm open. You're the one that's giving me the idea, so I'm following your guys. Tiffany style. You mean like a Tiffany blue, a turquoise? Help a sister out. I'm going to use red. I could use like a minty blue, yeah, blue, like Tiffany blue. Is that what you're saying? Okay, let me think of what I have that's that color. I'm looking on my paint shelf while you're. Vintage decorating. I'm looking. I'm gonna go with red. I can't find a blue that I like. Thanks for the good suggestion, but I'm gonna just do the red, which is bright. But I think if I put a little bit more out in it, probably. Which is out also. Kind of my paints are out. Oh, I'm just batting a million right now. Better put a paint order for myself. Mix a little bit of brown in it. Dixie Belle Dusty Blue. You know, Dusty Blue is a, hey Anita, really pretty blue. Okay. I put a little bit of salt wash in here. And I put some honky tonk red with chocolate, which are both Dixie Belle, which will kind of tone down the brightness of the honky tonk red. So it's just not like, whoa, in your face. But we could also tone that down with wax and glaze because we are texturing this piece. I haven't done anything red in a while, so thank you for your suggestion, Sharon. But I think I'm going to go with this one for now. Why is it not showing me You thought I was doing a lamp? Oh no, it's just a whatever this is. It's a candy dish. No, it's just a big home decor where you can put pumpkins in it, pine cones, or some garland hanging out of it, right? This is just going to be our base, so we can layer it with darker colors, lighter colors, I don't know, brown, orange. Okay, nice and thick, right? It has been a long week. I'm feeling, work. Try to get back. Oh my God. I need to get this painted because guess what? I'm floor. I'm just gonna grab what I call a chip brush. I need something with more surface. I'm being here all day doing this. Let me get a bigger brush. It's taken 3 years. I got 3 years. When you guys wash these brushes, I suggest you wash them if you're using salt wash. Like wash them in a bucket and then pour the water down your toilet instead of down your sink, because it'll clog up your sink every time. My husband was just here today. I'm like, my sink's not draining. Well, I do wash brushes in my sink every day, and that's sludge from the brushes. And then when I put like salt wash on things, I don't always take my own advice. It's like a big hibiscus flower right now, doesn't it? I'm just doing the texture portion because I'm afraid that paint will chip off this pretty easily. So if you use the salt wash with anything, it will help it stick to that piece, right? That's the great thing about the salt wash. It will really help it stick. Thanks, Sharon. Yeah, so it's a combination of honky tonk and chocolate. So it's kind of toned down that super bright red of the honky tonk red. It's almost like a poinsettia color. Be a great Christmas color. I did just get in new holiday tissue papers. Christmas, fall, and then Dixie Belle just had a new release that I was just able to order. Oh my gosh, they got some of the cutest holiday transfers, water slide transfers, which are the easy ones. No rubbing necessary. Just add water like one of those temporary tattoos. Oh, with Christmas trees and nutcrackers. So those will be coming in the next couple of weeks. Probably in next week I'll have them out. Because it's that time of year we got to start planning ahead, right? Crafting for the holidays. So we're going to have some fun stuff with that. Class is coming up. Believe it or not, September's like a week away. I don't want to believe it. So, turn this upside down. We need to do the upside down. I do this so that I can get the texture to really be textury. So that way when we add waxes or we add a glaze, it has somewhere to go. The texture adds the grooves and stuff to put that stuff in, right? I am getting ready to go. My husband and I just made the plans last night. We weren't going to go till October, but we are going on a buying trip. So I need to start putting some out there. What do you guys look? What do you want me to look for? What is it that I don't have in the store? Dressers, hutches. What do you want me to look for? Nightstands. Like, give me your list, because I'm gonna be gone for like 4 days, and I've already got a bunch of stuff picked out. I have a friend who saves stuff for me. She has a big booth in one of the biggest antique stores in Portland. So we're going to go up to Portland, Vancouver area and do some picking. It's awesome to go with her because she knows all the hot honey holes, right? That's what she does. So she saves stuff for me, and so she's got a whole garage full of stuff for me to bring home. And I'm super excited about that. So we will be going Labor Day weekend. Well, not the weekend. I'll be here Saturday, but we'll be going Labor Day to go shop and look for some cool stuff and bring home. So if you are wanting a certain kind of piece and you're like, well, Debbie, you don't have it because my inventory is very low with my unpainted pieces. I'm also going to be looking for pieces that I can just leave and then maybe fix up with natural wood or whatever that are in great shape. Like the couple that I just had in the store. I love the mix of unpainted and painted, even in my home. So I'll be looking for those too. I'm going to throw this in some water. That way it's not hard to me. This stuff will get hard as a rock in no time. We're going to hit it with dryer because you know it's not going to dry without it. So if you're looking for anything in particular, just give me your list. I always look for buffets, but I also want to look, hey Jansky, I want to look for like dressers, nightstands, any kind of hutch. I have quite a few hutches in the back. You're working on fall crafts? So bedside table, secretary desk, and curio. Okay. Perfect. That's a good start. Curio cabinets are always good ones, right? I don't do stuff with a lot of glass because there's not a lot to paint on them. But the last one that I picked up, I didn't even paint it. I just conditioned the wood with the salve, and it just, God, it looks so flipping good. That one just sold. So, but yeah, it's going to be here before we know it, right? Crazy time. How are you today, Jansky? So I'm just using my dryer to kind of get it to dry. I will tell you that texture takes time because it dries from the inside out. Hey, Tony. No, it's not a bird bath. It's just like a home decor item that you would just stick in your house. Maybe put some, pumpkins or gourds or maybe a little, a garland hanging down the side. Maybe some potpourri, something like that. Kind of looks like a big red flower now, doesn't it? I thought we'd keep with the fall kind of design and see what we can do. So yes, the texture will look to be dry, but it won't be dry because where I got it a little thicker, it definitely will take longer to dry, like especially in here where it's a little thicker. So I'll have to be really careful when I'm painting it. That's why it's good to do the pouncy pounce look instead of smearing it kind of paint. And that will help me not to brush it on. It more than apt would smear the texture. In reality, when I do texture, I try to do it and wait for 2 or 3 hours for it to dry and then paint. But I don't think you want to just sit here for 2 or 3 hours or have me come back. Probably not fun. Not fun for any of us, right? So, yeah, I will be going on a buying trip. Labor Day weekend, I'm going to plan on going and filling up my trailer. So if you guys are looking for something that you'd like to see in the shop, tell me. People always say they want matching nightstands or a kitchen table or something like that. I have a really cool table at home I need to bring in that's in my garage. I have overflow at home and stuff in here, and it's almost empty. I was telling my husband the other day, I need to get some stuff. He goes, you don't have anything. I'm like, what? And we need to go now because we can't go in the winter because we can't tow a 20-foot trailer over the blues in the winter time, and nor do I want to, right? It's not fun. Not fun for me or anybody, right? Stay away from that mountain range. I said, God, we just drove up there. Yep, road trip. I will definitely take you guys along with me on that one and let you know where I'm at and show you some pictures of the cool places that we go. There's a lot of cool antique stores up north. And I don't do a lot of antique stores because they're too expensive. But luckily my friend knows where to go and she has other friends that are antique dealers. Generally I buy the stuff from her because she's in the largest antique store in Portland. But I buy the stuff from her that she really can't sell without doing a lot of work, right? Because they don't sell painted stuff, they sell natural wood antiques. Gorgeous, phenomenal. So she'll find something, she'll be like, well, you might need to replace the top. And I'm like, okay, or it was painted and you got to take all the layers of paint. And I'm like, okay. That's what she when she gets a bargain on it. So she saves them for me. It's a win-win for all of us. Okay, now let's put some other colors on here. My mind is blank. Okay, I'm going to add some additional colors. Throw some colors out there that you'd like to go with. Let me think. The red is just going to be underneath, right? Oh my gosh, the squirrel Sharon was so fun. So we went to Wallowa Lake. Have any of you ever ridden on the tram? There's these gondolas that go like straight up this mountain. It's amazing. It is the most gorgeous view I've ever seen. Stunning. Well, all the animals around there are just so tame, all the wild animals, because they get fed all the time, right? Because of the tourists. So I'm sitting there. I was giving my grandson some little snack, and that squirrel came out of nowhere. And it just appeared. And it would not leave, and it just had fun and stayed and was all over our feet. And Keanu was so excited. He wanted to make it move. He kept like, you saw him like throw the rock, and I stopped. He doesn't understand, like, what is it doing? Where's it going? What's it doing? And so it was fun to do that. I could have been, I could have picked the dang thing up. I was like at first, like, is it going to bite me? And no, it was literally just sat right on my hand. And it just sat there. And even when he was jumping up and down, it didn't even affect it. So they're like so used to people. It's crazy, right? So I just added some yellow and orange to my bowl. We're just going to kind of do we're going to go over this with some glades, so don't fret if it looks too light. And just let that red still pop through, not covering it, and I'm just kind of dipping all the three colors at once in my brush. And now that I see the orange, like around here, maybe we'll do like the orange in the middle of the flower coming up. And then the yellow around, like outside the petals. The thing about pieces like this is after they're done, if you don't like them, and like next season comes and you're like, okay, well, I've had this thing, I don't like it anymore, paint it again. Point is, see this buffet behind me? Whoops. That one. That was in my house for 5 years. It was a light kind of mint green. Guess what? It's not mint green no more. It's an antique. So I just redid the top. The top was gray. Now it's brown. You can redo this stuff. So when you buy good quality stuff, especially vintage furniture, it will last, because when I sanded it down again, guess what? The real wood was still there. And I just went right over the top of it. Gave it a brand new look. Looks nothing like. I'll have to post what it looked like before and after on it. And you know, if in a 6 months or whatever it doesn't sell, the last one I did like that sold in a day. The last two that I did like that. So I'm kind of doing the same color because they were never on the floor, like they left so fast. So I thought, well, let me do another one because it is just that really neutral, fun color that everybody's looking for right now. See how easy this is? The texture will kind of play with it. And this has these little rimmy things on it. So I'm just tapping my brush. This is not difficult stuff. I do know what color I want to put in here. How about some mossy color, like a green. Let's see what happens. Oops, paint stuck. Like a green. This is the mud paints moss. Exactly what's called moss. Layers, and the paint's still wet, so it'll just keep layering up. Here's my orange. Florida orange, which is Dixie Belle's orange. It's re-released in 8 ounces just for the holiday or just for the season, not really a holiday. I'm going to take that orange and kind of go right over the top of the green. The red is still going to be down there. Whoa. So, Tawny, you wrote on one of those before. It was so beautiful. It was breathtaking beautiful. I didn't post any of those videos, but holy cow, it was breathtaking. You're so high up and you're just overlooking the lake and the valley. Oh, absolutely stunning. And I skied a lot when I was a kid and a young adult. Not so much now. I have terrible knees. I can't ski anymore, but I've never been on a ski lift that like a gondola. When I used to live in California, we used to go ski like, you know, Tahoe all the time. That goes up that steep. I was like, whoo. Sometimes I had to just look away because I get a little freaked out about heights. But it was so fun. And it was so fun seeing it through the baby's eyes, right? Through the kids. That's the best part about having little kids. You forget about all the wonders, right? All the wonders that we take advantage of because we don't see them anymore. And all those things that he sees. Now, Emery's still pretty small, so she doesn't really have like a huge expression when it comes to that stuff. But he was just like, oh, it's like, oh, love it. That was like the best part, like the memories that you're making for these kids. Yeah, he was besides himself having fun. Okay, I need a little more green paint. Look at. So moss, a little bit of more flower orange. Yeah, I saw poinsettia too, Tony, in it. Now it's not going to look so poinsettia-esque. Because guess what? I'm going to put some brown glaze on this, and it's all going to kind of dissipate. Now, it had green and orange on it when we started. That old-fashioned home decor. Used to go to those home interior parties. If you're old like me, you remember those back in the, 90s? And then my kids were little. People used to invite you or they'd bring the catalog to work. Remember that? Does that still happen? I mean, I don't work in an office anymore, so. Or you'd have like a party like that. Now everything's online, right? Remember going, oh, we have to go to so-and-so's house tonight because they're having the home decor party. And we have to go help, just represent. You'd always buy something. That's what this stuff reminds me of. This is pretty well made, though. This is pretty high-end home decor. This is going to be pretty. Okay, now, if I can get it to dry and we're not here for another half an hour, this will be good. I did put it on kind of thick because I want to glaze this, because when you put glaze on this, this is going to be hard to resist. Because it's going to be dry to the touch. It's going to be tough to put glaze on this, because I put this paint on super thick because I was just tapping it, because I want the texture, right? I don't want the smoothness of the metal anymore. But once you put glaze on this, this is going to deepen up, and it is going to look like a whole different thing. So all the bright colors are going to mute down and be just beautiful. Well, let me see if I can dry any part of it. I may just have to do the outside and not the inside. That's But when you do with texture first, it really does give you the look of just kind of old and age. I guess it gives it age automatically. I may be able to put a little bit of texture on it. I mean, glaze. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the whole thing. Like I said, the paint really does need to be dry, because if you put glaze on, what happens? You put the glaze on, then you wipe it off. If you don't have the paint dry, you'll just wipe everything off all the way down to the original part, which is the metal. I need like a turbo dryer. It looks fall-like, right? Thanks, Sharon. It's pretty. The red, you can't hardly see it. And that's why I always say with your base colors, don't like stress out about them so much. They're there, but they're not like the show. They're not like what you're going to see. The cool thing is that you need some kind of base always to start. Base color. And then you just build it from there. So I may just like dry this really, really well right here, and then put glaze on it and show you like the difference between, you know, one half that's on here and one half that's not, kind of thing. Because what happens is when I start putting glaze on, if it's not dry, it'll just wipe off all the paint. It's not dry at all down there. But the orange and the green and the yellows all together make this really fun, cool type of color, right? Let me get my glaze going. I'm going to leave this running right here. I'm going to grab some. Oh, I really like this one. This is a great glaze. Miss Lillian has the best glaze now. They really like their glaze, because it's super, 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 super fluffy, which I really like that about that. Because some glazes are too thick and you can't really wipe them off, and they're more like a paint, which that's not what the intent of a glaze is. The intent of a glaze is to be a super, super easy material to put on and wipe off. So we're going to try it just on this path. I don't think I can get all of it dry enough to do the whole thing. Let me put that over there so I don't burn myself. So their glazes come in 8 ounces. There's a ton of colors, and I have a whole bunch on the shelf. Shake it up really good. It is super, super watery. See? Super, super liquidy. And you don't need a ton. Okay? You're going to get a brush, and you're going to cover the entire surface with it. And the reason that I like it for being so runny is because it covers really well, where some glazes, because the whole idea is to put it on and wipe it off. I like to be able to wipe it off so that it doesn't just turn it into this big brown blob, right? That's not the whole idea of glaze. The glaze is just supposed to accent what you've already got here, right? This is why the paint needs to be very dry. So we're just going to do this half because it's not going to be dry enough other places. Okay. Got the rag. We're going to use this one that we were using to clean it with earlier. And we're just going to wipe it back. We want to do this because we don't want to just let the glaze dry. Can you even believe the difference? Are you seeing that? Are you seeing that? All the texture now falls into place. All the these little dealy boppy thingies with these little, look at that. After, right? Night and day. After, before. It's still wet. I'm touching it. This is still wet. But that's insane. So that's what glaze does, if you guys ever used it. It's amazing. If for some reason you put too much on, you can get your, this is a little damp. You can get your thing damp and you can wipe off even more. Isn't that cool? Let's try this a little bit more. The details are insane when you use glaze. Like, they pop so much. So glaze comes in a variety of colors. From white all the way to like black, right? And everything in between. So I am very, very particular about, this one is called Black Walnut, but it's not really black. It's like a dark, dark espresso brown. That's kind of my jam when it comes to glazes. I love like the dark espresso browns the most. I think they look so much more natural, like the natural antiquing. So you don't need a lot of glaze. And you don't ever want to put this stuff on and walk away and leave it like this. I did that once. So long time ago, gosh, when I was over on Midland, when I had that little store on Midland, I was in the store by myself and I was doing a bunch of red. Actually, they were red. How funny. Red shelves, like a whole freaking like 12 of them. And I had them all laid out in the back, and I had just put a coat of glaze. And of course, here comes a customer out there by myself. I go out, and I totally forgot that I had the glaze on them. And it dried, and it looked like hell. It was so bad. I had to re-sand off all the paint, start all over. So try not to walk away from them. I'm just going to pat this because I know that the paint is still not all the way dry. So I'm just going to pat this so that I can take off the extra. We want it to be natural. It's about as natural as you're going to get right here. So pretty. And then you're going to let that dry. Now the glaze is actually a sealer. So there's no need to wax or top coat because the glaze acts as a sealer also. Let's flip it. Whoa, get myself in there. We'll do this part. See how much I can do before I start pulling off paint. There's paint right there. See that? You put the glaze with the paint, it will just kind of reactivate the paint. That's why you want your paint good and dry, because glaze has got quite a water base to it. It's a translucent kind of product. So if you reactivate your paint, then guess what? You'll pull your paint off. Isn't that pretty? So that's the underneath. Now, the inside will be amazing. So I'm going to let this dry, though, because I don't think that I can get it dry enough in a little bit of time that we have left. So we got to go get the store closed. But check that out, right? Check out how beautiful now all the details pop. I could still take some like gold and just be careful because look at this. The glaze will run. Can you see that? Right here, it's running because it had a little extra. If you let it dry like that, it'll dry just like that. So just be careful with it. So you put glaze on and then you take it off. I do have a variety of colors on the Missolians brand. There's also Wise Owl and Dixie Belle. They're all pretty similar. I'm really starting to like the Missolians the best of all. So I'll let the inside dry, and then we'll do the same thing. We could go over it with a little bit of gold or bronze or copper, like gilding wax if we wanted to make it shine some more. But I'm thinking it's kind of cool the way it is. I do like, though, taking a piece of sandpaper, and this is relatively still wet. Hasn't cured yet. It's going to scrape that paint right off. Maybe getting down past those layers down to that red. A little bit in there. Make those like I'm just pressing on where this highlighted part is. We could sand it all the way down to the metal if we want to. The paint is still wet, soft, so it's kind of letting me just take off a couple layers just to give it some more dimension. We could do that. That's kind of pretty too. And then it shows back on that original red that we originally used, plus all the colors underneath. See that? How fun is that? And then it just gives it a little more of an antique look. Because the sandpaper is only going to take off on the highlighted areas, right? Same thing with like on the leaves. We can just do like the sides or like this middle vein right here. We can just take off some. If when it dries I don't like it, I can just go back over it with glaze. It'll darken it right back up. But the glaze has made the paint super soft. So it's relatively easy for me just to kind of barely sand it down. And then just gives it a little more vein. And actually it gives it a little more depth. Another element. Okay, you guys. I hope you had fun. Sorry I wasn't here yesterday, but I always make it up to you. I never want to miss unless I absolutely have to. All right. So you know what I always say. Go out. Be fabulous. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday. We are open tomorrow from 10 to 4. If you have a chance to make it to downtown Nampa, we're at 1407 2nd Street South. Look for the pink and white stripe awning out front. I am catty corner to the Flying M Coffee Shop. Okay, you guys, my name is Debbie Tona. Go out, be fabulous. Have a great evening. Thanks for watching.